Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Ashtadarashata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajikacharya Ashtadarashata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Sham Mukund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Navadvip Dham Ki Jai Ganga Yamuna Maya Ki Jai Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Samaveta Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. So today is the disappearance of Jayadev Goswami and the appearance of Gopal Bhatta Goswami, right? Krishna Das. Can you give me the Samadhi book, please? Ramchandra. Oh, sorry. Tomorrow is the appearance day of Jayadev. Yeah, Goswami. Okay, I'm getting mixed up. So Ramchandra Kaviraj today and Gopal Bhatta Goswami today. So Gopal Bhatta Goswami will be discussed by Bhajanarayan Swami tomorrow. There'll be a special presentation of Gopal Bhatta Goswami and Jayadev Goswami. So today we'll just hear a little bit about Ramchandra Kaviraj. Ramchandra Kaviraj. The son of Sri Chiranjiva Sen, he's an eternal associate of Lord Chaitanya, by the way, this Sri Chiranjiva Sen, appeared in Sri Khanda. Ramchandra Kaviraj was especially earnest, beautiful, intelligent, energetic, and enthusiastic, said one biographer. Although married, Ramchandra and his wife, Ratnanala, had no material attachments. They stayed fully engaged in the loving service of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They had no children. With steadfast devotion, he served his spiritual master, Srinivasa Acharya. In Vrindavan, Sri Jiva Goswami gave him the title Kaviraj, King of Poets. He wrote the following beautiful verse. Sriman Mahaprabhu is so kind that he manifests the nectar of the Hare Krishna mantra. The holy name will free all souls from the cycle of birth and death, from lower planets, from hell. The holy name will give one a taste of divine love for Radha Madhava. Whether blind or dumb, anyone can drown in this flood of prema. In this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has filled everyone with love of God. But Ramchandra Das is so unfortunate that he couldn't even taste a drop of that nectar. Ramchandra Kaviraj was one of the 8 Kaviraj's famous poet disciples of Srinivasa Acharya. Ramchandra wrote Smarna Darpana, Smarna Chamatkara, Siddhanta Chandrika, and Siddhanta Chandrika. He preached widely and initiated many disciples. Narottam Das Thakur and Ramchandra lived together as best friends. Narottam Das wrote, Dvaikoya Shri Acharya Prabhu Srinivas Ramachandra Sangamage Narottam Das. O Srinivas Acharya Prabhu, please give me your mercy. Narottam Das always prays for the association of Ramchandra Kaviraj. In the form of Karna Manjari, he served Srimati Radharani in Vrajalila. So, yeah, he was the son of an eternal servant of eternal associate of Lord Chaitanya, and he had all these wonderful characteristics: beauty, earnestness, intelligence, and he was energetic and enthusiastic. He was a poet. Although he was married, he had no material desires. He engaged fully in Lord Chaitanya's service. And as we read from one of the things he wrote here, yeah, very beautiful writer, talented writer, therefore the name Kaviraj, expert poet. And he's the best friend of Narottam Das Thakur. So those are some things about him. And tomorrow we will hear about Gopal Bhatta Goswami. All right, so Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, 8th Canto, Withdrawal of the Cosmic Creations, Chapter 1, the Manus, Administrators of the Universe, Text 13. So if everybody could please repeat after me. Sa Vishva Kaya Puru Huta Ishaha Satya Swayam Jyotir Aja Puranaha Tate Sya Janmadi Ajayatma Shaktya Tam Vidya Yodasya Niriha Aste Savishvakaya Puruhuta Isha Satya Swayam Jyotir Ajaparanaha Tatesya Janmadi Yajatma Shaktya Tam Vidyayo Dasya Niriha Aste Savishvakaya Puruhuta Isha Satya Swayam Jyotir Ajaparanaha Tatesya Janmad Yajayatma Shaktya Tam vidyayo dasya niriha aste. Savishvakaya puruhuta isha. Satya swayam jyotir aja puranaha. Datesya janmad yajayatma shaktya. Tam vidyayo dasya niriha aste. All right, Saha, that Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vishvakaya, the total form of the universe. The whole universe is the external body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Puruhutaha, known by so many names. Ishaha, the Supreme Controller, with full power. Satyaha, the ultimate truth. Swayam, personally. Jyoti, self-effulgent. Ajaha, unborn, beginningless. Puranaha, the oldest. Date, he performs. Rasya, of this universe. Janma Adi, the creation, maintenance, and annihilation. Vijaya, by his external energy. Atmashaktya, by his personal potency. Tam, that external material energy. Vidya, by his spiritual potency. Udasya, giving up. Narihaha, without any desire or activity. Aste, he is existing, untouched by the material energy. Translation. The entire cosmic manifestation is the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Absolute Truth, who has millions of names and unlimited potencies. He is self-effulgent, unborn, and changeless. Because he has created this cosmic manifestation by his external energy, the universe appears to be created, maintained, and annihilated by him. Nonetheless, he remains inactive in his spiritual energy and is untouched by the activities of the material energy. Purport. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says in the Shikshashtaka, Nam Namakari Bahudani Jasarva Shakti. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has many names, which are all non-different from the Supreme Person. This is spiritual existence. By chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra consisting of names of the Supreme Lord, we find that the name has all the potencies of the person. The Lord's activities are many, and according to his activities he has many names. He appears as the son of Mother Yashoda and also as the son of Mother Devaki, and therefore he is named Devaki Nandana and Yashoda Nandana. Parasa Shaktir Vivadai Yeshuyate. The Lord has The Lord has a multitude of energies, and therefore he acts in multifarious ways. Yet he has a particular name. The Shastras recommend which names we should chant, such as Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. It is not that we have to search for some name or manufacture one. Rather, we must follow the saintly persons and the Shastras in chanting his holy name. Although the material and spiritual energies both belong to the Lord, he is impossible to understand as long as we are in the material energy. And when we come to the spiritual energy, he is very easy to know. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.7.23, Mayam vyadasya chukya kaiva leye stiti atmani. Although the external energy belongs to the Lord, when one is in the external energy, mama maya dhratya, he is very difficult to understand. However, when one comes to the spiritual energy, one can understand him. Therefore, in Bhagavad Gita 18.55, it is said, Bhaktya mama vijanati yavan yaschasmi tattvataha. One who wants to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead in reality must take to the platform of Bhakti, or Krishna consciousness. This Bhakti consists of various activities: Shavanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. And to understand the Lord, one must take to this path of devotional service. Even though the people of the world have forgotten God and may say that God is dead, this is not a fact. One could understand God when one takes to the Krishna consciousness movement, and thus one can be happy. Om Gyanativarandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmadhitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukum Karidvachalam Pangam Mangayate Girim Yat Kripatamahan Vande Shri Gurundini Tadaram Vachakabudri Vishcha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Translation once again. The entire cosmic manifestation is the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Absolute Truth, who has millions of names and unlimited potencies. He is self-effulgent, unborn, and changeless. He is the beginning of everything, but he has no beginning. Because he has created this cosmic manifestation by his external energy, the universe appears to be created, maintained, and annihilated by him. Nonetheless, he remains inactive in his spiritual energy and is untouched by the activities of the material energy. So, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is the person who behind the creation, and sometimes people ask, well, why is the material world created? And there's all different types of ideas that people have, and people have had throughout history. people think that, yeah, I mean, there's no God behind the creation. That's clear. There's a number of people who think that. And there's some people who have different ideas, theistic ideas, why this place was created in the first place. Is it a place where just like just a place where we come and we just enjoy and then I guess we worship God and then we go back, or whether we're there or not, we go to God after that for being a good person, or we just go to hell for being a bad person? Is God really involved in our day-to-day lives? Is he involved in this creation? Does he care about it? Is it just like a gigantic machine that's just kind of created, and then he does his own thing? You know, almost like a influential person who builds up a big company, and they just, it's a multi-billion-dollar enterprise, and more or less they don't have to get so involved in the nitty-gritty stuff. They're paying people to do that, and then they're just out enjoying the typical, right? Which I'm not exactly sure or really understood what's the big enjoyment about. They always talk about the golf courses. It's like I made it. I'm able to spend my time on a golf course. I'm successful. Just see. So is a God like that, where he just creates things and then he's just enjoying his own pastimes? Not golf, but other pastimes he's enjoying. So there's different ideas, but the Srimad Bhagavatam explains that Krishna is very involved in this creation. He's very involved in our day-to-day lives. He's with us as the Super Soul, as we've been hearing the last few days. And according to our desires and according to what we want, he's giving us intelligence. He's giving us forgetfulness. If we want to forget illusion, he'll help us forget illusion. It is possible to forget. Just forget the whole, forget Maya. If we want to remember Krishna, he will help us remember him. So he'll help us according to our particular desires. And as the best friend of all living entities, Suridam Sarvabhutanam, is that the verse? I think so. Yeah. He's the best friend of all living entities. He has our best in mind. He wants to help us more than anybody wants to help us. He wants us to be happy more than anybody wants us to be happy. It's not that Krishna is some vindictive God who is just out to get us if we step out of line. Krishna is very merciful, as we were hearing the other day. Anyways, there's a number of pastimes and accounts that demonstrate that. Krishna is very generous. So, and he comes to this material world from time to time, and he's in the mood of a preacher. What is Krishna doing on the what is Krishna doing on the battlefield of Kurukshetra? He's preaching. He's preaching to Arjuna. And he knows very well that message of Bhagavad Gita will be preached throughout the world. It will be recorded and it will be distributed throughout the world. So in this way, Krishna is a preacher. He comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What is he doing? He's preaching Krishna consciousness by his own example. He's teaching how to relish the highest levels of Krishna consciousness through chanting Hare Krishna and meditating on Krishna's pastimes. And with certain individuals, he is giving philosophical, he's having philosophical discussion. You have the example of Prakashananda Saraswati, not Thakur, but Prakashananda Saraswati. Great Mayavadi, or great Mayavadi, or a famous Mayavadi of Benares. It's a place, very famous Mayavadi place, Benares, right? You look left, you see a Mayavadi. You look right, you see a Mayavadi. You look at yourself, you see a Mayavadi. Mayavadi and personalist. So he was there preaching to Prakashananda Saraswati, and he had so many followers, thousands of followers, and we see this in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, and he converted him and all of his followers by his preaching the message of the Bhagavatam. So he's speaking with him, he's speaking with other personalities, Ramananda Roy, he's speaking with different personalities. And Srila Prabhupada would sometimes describe these two different categories as, he would say, the masses and the mass and the class. So Srila Prabhupada would explain that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, for the mass, it was congregational chanting of the holy names, dancing and chanting, and prasadam distribution. And in a number of cases, Srila Prabhupada told devotees, and actually Srila Prabhupada went, I think Hamza Dutta arranged some program in Germany or something. But the program was a bunch of kind of, you could say a bunch of hippies who were real, authentic hippies. And Srila Prabhupada, you could just tell by looking at them, at their demeanor and at their faces, that he just said, he actually said, anyways, he just said, he decided not to give the talk. And he said, just chant Hare Krishna and feed him prasadam. Interesting. But, of course, when we talk about chanting Hare Krishna, taking prasadam, that's for everybody. But specifically when we're talking about philosophical discussions and all of these, we see in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes that he was speaking to certain people. And Srila Prabhupada put emphasis on such people, if you want to call them the category of the class. Now, of course, when we talk about, am I saying it right? The class, is that right? Yeah, the class. Yeah. When we talk about that category of people, Srila Prabhupada said, the so-called gentlemen, or the so-called ladies, or whatever. It's, they're attached to sinful activity. They're, whatever. And sometimes those persons may be more difficult to convince for different reasons. But therefore, Srila Prabhupada said, we're trying to give the knowledge to everybody, trying to give the process to everybody. But even though saying that, he did put stress on reaching out to the class people. And therefore, Srila Prabhupada was stressing so much to go to universities, to give classes at universities, to distribute books at universities, to do all these types of things, start clubs at universities. And by doing that, devotees will attract people who can become leaders. And that's very necessary. Without leaders, everything falls apart. And we should always note that it's not enough to, make leaders, leaders age. Leaders get older. It happens, the body gets older. So the need of creating leaders is always important and always necessary. And sometimes we see that, there's different pockets of ISKCON, we're here, there's Laguna, there's LA, there's so many places all over the world. And for devotees who have been around some places in their travels to India or wherever it may be, we see that there is sometimes a leadership crisis, or specifically there's not new or young people joining. And there's a number of countries where pockets sometimes this is happening. So it's important to note that and try to do something about that. And therefore, how the younger devotees direct their energy is very important. They have to direct their energy very intelligently, as Srila Prabhupada said in his last days. To Kiraj Das Brahmachari, Prabhupada asked him, will this movement go on? And then he said, yes, it will, if the devotees sincerely chant Hare Krishna and follow the principles. Then Srila Prabhupada said 2 words. He said intelligence and organization. So devotees have to focus their energy in very intelligent ways, in an organized fashion, to get the best result for Krishna. And therefore the priorities need to be set in the right place. And that goes for frontline soldiers, backline soldiers. What's the purpose of backline soldiers? The purpose of backline soldiers is to support the frontline soldiers, if you're in an army. That's the exact purpose. And it's not that they should be seen as less important or less qualified, but there's certain people with certain skills. Some people, they are more suited for backline work, and some people are more suited for frontline work. Sometimes people are suited for both. Sometimes people are suited for none. Not everybody's suited for something, but so how the energy is directed is very important, and therefore Srila Prabhupada is stressing to go to places of where there's, for example, UCSD. All right, you just graduated from UCSD. How many students are at UCSD? Over 30,000 students between the ages of 18 and 22. 30,000 students. SDSU, maybe you know that too? You'll be our fact man. Around the same. 30,000 students. So you got UCSD, 30,000 students. SDSU, around 30,000 students. You have USD here. Of course, it's a Catholic university, untouched by the Hare Krishnas, because it's a private school, and they'll ask us to leave immediately. Although devotees in LA, they have a club at a Catholic university, and they're getting people in the door there like that. But, well, there's a will, there's a way. Another 30,000. And then you have San Marcos, another 30,000. So you're talking about thousands and thousands and thousands of young people just floating around, wandering around, waiting for somebody to help them. Waiting for Krishna's mercy. So, if one can be a frontline soldier, then they should go to such places. If one's a backline soldier, they should support frontline soldiers who go to such places. And therefore, again, how we spend our energy is very important, and that when we get people to join, we don't want to just have them here, doing this and that and so many other things. There are many things to do, but but that doesn't turn out well, because those devotees join, and then if there's no new people coming in, they become older and older and older, and you have an older group of devotees, and there's no young people joining, and then I don't know, it's just, as one devotee would quote all the time, recruit or die. And this is fulfilling the exact purpose of the creation. The purpose of the creation, Krishna comes personally. In other words, it's important. Krishna comes personally for this. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He speaks the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. He's not just speaking to Arjuna, he's speaking to the whole world. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes. And what are they trying to do? They're trying to enlighten us. So as members of the International Society of Krishna Consciousness, the idea is that we want to please Krishna. Of course, it's pleasing to Krishna to cook offerings, and it's absolutely necessary. Not only pleasing, but necessary. I mean, we have Krishna's here. We have to, do the offerings. We have to do the artis. We have to do all of these things. I understand clearly. I've done it for many years myself. But we should understand that the desire of Krishna, who's standing on the altar, is that we try to approach all these thousands of people and try to give them Krishna consciousness. That is the desire. That is how we please Krishna, and especially please Krishna, and especially become dear to Krishna. And Mama Maya Dhritya, that if we surrender to Krishna's instructions to practice Krishna consciousness, to give Krishna consciousness, then even though Maya is very strong, everybody knows Maya is very strong, you just have to be around for maybe a few days. You hear about Maya, and you're like, okay, now I have an understanding of Maya. Okay, I have someone. Okay, I'm not the body, I'm the soul. Okay, there's Krishna, there's Maya. Okay, about a week into, you're like, all right, Maya's very strong. I understand. So it doesn't take very long to understand Maya's strong. And of course, initiation helps. Of course, putting on saffron helps. Of course, all of these things help if they're done in the right way. But it's not that when one takes initiation, they're immediately liberated. Or when they put on saffron, they're immediately liberated. There has to be a deep surrender. How does the verse say? Daivyesha gunamaya mamaya dhratya mamayave prapadyante mayamaitam tarantite. That if we surrender to Krishna, he says that we will easily cross beyond this. So to give Krishna consciousness to others specifically, that is a great surrender, and we will be rewarded for that. We will please Krishna, and he will reward us for that. He'll reward us. We can't even imagine. And as Srila Prabhupada said, many people have forgotten God. Like when Srila Prabhupada first went to London, right? They asked, "Oh, what did you come here to give us, Swami? Or why are you coming here?" And then Srila Prabhupada said, "I've come to give you what you have forgotten. I've come to share with you what you've forgotten." They said, "Well, what is that?" And he says, "God," to this dark place of London. So this is Srila Prabhupada, this is Krishna's mission, this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission, this is Srila Prabhupada's mission, and we, as members of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, we should try to find our mission within the mission and surrender to it. Yeah. All right, does anybody have any question or comment? Yes. Bhajanarayan Swami. I could always, what is it called? I could always depend on you for a question or comment.
That's what I was
Thank you.
trying to be some small, maybe that's my mission within the mission. That was my question. This idea of personal initiative, to have a mission within the mission, and also to just be fully surrendered. So how do you balance? Well, I like to do this, I like to do that, I want to find my, have my personality.
Yeah.
And then also full surrender.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Yeah, so the traditional, Tapas, Tapas is here, he saw it. No, the traditional, Tapas, I think he's working on getting us new cameras so we can get new microphones at the same time. We're going to get new, fancy, HD cameras, right, Tapas? Soon, this year. So yeah, the traditional system for brahmacharis, it's a very humbling system, and it's easy actually, in the sense that you have these young boys coming. They're young boys. They haven't been conditioned by whatever American culture or any culture. They're young boys. Huh? 5 years old. So they're trained from a very young age, the Gurukul system, and girls are trained in different ways also. But specifically, we'll speak on the Brahmacharya ashram right now a little bit. They're trained and they come, and it's not that they're all, whether they're, like Srila Prabhupada says, whether the son of a king or the son of a Brahmin or whoever, they come and they do humble service. They're cleaning, washing pots, cleaning, whatever they're using. There's always things to clean, right? We're in the material world. So they're cleaning, they're doing menial service. Traditionally they go out and collect firewood and other things for the ashram. And like this, it's a very good training for them to be humble. So important to be humble. And that helps with their education. It's not like the teacher's trying to give a talk or anything, and the students sitting there like, well, what do you know? Or they're very humble. They're very open to hear on the basis of doing that service. And then, so they're educated in that way, how to do humble service and break down not to let that false ego manifest. And then they're educated in Vedic knowledge and so many things, cooking and so many arts. Like Srila Prabhupada said, a brahmachari should be daksha. Daksha means, Srila Prabhupada said that they should learn how to play harmonium, they should learn how to play mridanga, they should learn how to play musical instruments, they should learn how to sing, give class, cook, do deity worship. They should know how to do everything. That's what Srila Prabhupada said about brahmachari. Brahmachari should be daksha, expert. So like this, they're trained, and learning how to do all of these different things, naturally, they may feel more inclined to particular things by nature, and the teachers see that they're inclined in different ways. And therefore, naturally, they fall into different services. So, of course, in the modern context, it's, you have people, they're not coming when they're 5, they're coming when they're 25, or, older. So it's a bit different, and in the Brahmacharya ashram and in the ashram, how it runs and this and that, it's quite a different world. But the principle is the same, in the sense that it's good if brahmachari, following Srila Prabhupada's advice, become daksha, learn all these things. And then if they do these different services and they learn all of these things, then they'll get a sense themselves, and others will, their teachers, their gurus will get a sense, and they'll be put into a particular service. that suits them. Of course, a devotee can do anything. That's also there. It's not that, like Javita Prabhu, he gave the example that there was one Indian boy who joined, and on the East Coast, and to heat the house, you had to go downstairs to the basement to throw coal into the fire. And everyone would do that, this devotee, they take turns, including Jai Vedaswami. They take turns, right? But the Indian boy said, I'm a Brahmin, I can't do that. So a devotee doesn't have that in their mind. They could do anything for Krishna. But we see that over time, naturally, people do find themselves in a particular service that becomes their mission. Like some people's mission, they're like, I'm going to try to dress Krishna, the Radha Giridhari, in wonderful ways. There's so many things to do. Get this, buy this flute, that flute, get this, put the turban this way, that way. It's a whole meditation. Get these flowers, bring flowers in. Giridhari Priya is probably listening to this. Some people's mission is to cook. You're going to cook this nice thing, that, Some people's mission is to farm for Krishna. Some people's mission is to manage for Krishna. Some people's mission is to distribute books. So there's all these different things. So that's... And Srila Prabhupada said about this, he said, how do we know? One thing he said is that one is that you like doing it, that there's some natural inclination to do a particular service. That's one indication. And the other indication is that others say you're good at it. And I gave an example, like for example, someone's cooking breakfast or something. And of course somebody's here cooking breakfast practically every day, beside it's half-day fast or something, but they really like it, they're really into it. Get in there, and they're really having a good time. They're singing Hare Krishna, smiling, good, jolly time in there. But then the devotees, when they come out for breakfast, they're like, oh man, it's like this, this devotee again. I don't know about this. Kind of make their own arrangements or whatever. So it's an indication if somebody likes it and the other people say they're good. That's what Srila Prabhupada said. So I don't know, maybe you have something to add to that, or you're set.
Well, I was just thinking for persons. If you do a word, your answer was very good. But if you do a word search, especially in Prabhupada's letters, do the needful. There's so many instructions. Sometimes we have to do the needful. We have to put our shoulder to the wheel and do what needs to be done to push the mission forward. What is Prabhupada? It's your Guru Maharaj. Prabhupada said whether he should serve in South India, whether he should, Madras or whatever it was, Mumbai or Calcutta, because India was divided into 3 administrative areas by the Brits. And he said sometimes the spiritual master will ask you, what do you like to do? And sometimes he will say, please do this. And both of them, we shouldn't just do what we favor, otherwise where is the surrender? So there we have personalities, we have things that we like to do. At the same time, it's essential that we do the needful. And often we make more advancement when we don't just do what we like to do, but we do the needful. So that's what I was thinking.
Thank you. Any other question or comment?
Where's our...
Online? Any question online? Vijay? Krishna, are you there? Oh, he's not there. Oh, he must be upset with me or something. Huh? I didn't answer his questions the other day. He's boycotting my class. That's all right. Okay.
Just one note on the God is dead thing, which comes up. Prabhupada used to quote that. You know.
I think it was in a Time. It's a famous Time
Nietzsche.
magazine cover.
Oh, really?
God is dead. You know.
Wow. But the one who coined it was that philosopher Nietzsche. Nasty Nazi Nietzsche, it was called. And
Frederick.
the idea is that he was never alive. That's what he's saying. He was never alive, and the idea that there was a God is now dead. And it's dying because of the war and so many philosophies that are coming up. So that we should understand that he's just. It wasn't that suddenly God is dead, but that he's saying that he was never alive, and anyone who believed in him was befooled.
Yeah, I think there was some quote. Kalakanta Prabhu, he wrote it on the back of his book. I think his book's called God Who Dances or something like that. It's a poeticized, like Bhagavatam, all the cantos or something like that. But I think this philosopher said that he would believe in a God who dances or something like that. Yeah, is anyone familiar with that? Yeah. But yeah, he didn't hear about Krishna apparently. But we could see how sometimes people, they become very discouraged by modern conceptions of God. Like the other day in the lounge, this girl, Krishna Lounge in Pacific Beach, Yamunapati likes hearing about the lounge, maybe he's listening. He always is, telling me you should, speak about the lounge programs more and what goes on, So here's one, Yamunapati Prabhu, for you. At the Krishna Lounge Pacific Beach, there was one girl last Thursday, a few days ago. She raised her hand and she gave she said a comment. She said how she visited the lounge years ago, and she said she wasn't believing in God at that time. And specifically, she said she wasn't believing in God because of the Abrahamic religion's conceptions of God, the general conceptions we hear, very wrathful God and hell and damnation. And she coined it as like religious trauma she had. It's an interesting term. So we see sometimes that is there. So therefore there's it's so nice to be able to present Krishna. We'll just end. I was out distributing books and in National City from shop to shop. It's pretty fun. You just kind of go into one shop, next shop, and but I went to this insurance place and I approached this woman who was sitting at the desk and. I tried to give her one of Srila Prabhupada's books, and then she said, no, that's okay. And I mean, I usually don't say this, but I said, what, like, you don't like the idea of God? And she said, yes, that's true. And I said, well, what is your idea? I mean, there's different ideas. So then I explained the idea of Krishna being very merciful and what we generally say, and how he gives the soul unlimited chances to attain perfection. There's no hell and damnation. The most attractive person. These different things I was explaining to her, and she said, "Okay, I'll take the book." And she bought the book, and so, I mean, she hasn't become a pure devotee yet, but she started. Gave her some knowledge, but. So, like that, there's many people who, don't like the conception of God that they've heard so much, like that girl and this other person I'm talking about. But if they hear about Krishna, they think, oh, this is very nice. So, all right. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.